Hi guys, my name's Debbie. If we're not met before, welcome or welcome back. So today's video is going to be a chatty get ready with me, try new makeup kind of style video. I've got no makeup on my face at all. We're going to do a full face of makeup today. So, and mainly Too Faced and a little bit of Fenty and some oddments as well, but mainly Too Faced because I bought a few items while I was in London on Monday. Things that I can't very easily get my hands on, so I'm excited to try them, and I've already got some Too Faced stuff anyway. But the new items that I bought is the Born This Way translucent powder. I can get the medium or dark ones of these everywhere, but the translucent's just always sold out, and was able to get this powder in the little boutique store that they've got in Carnaby Street. I didn't even know that they had one, and I was just walking around Carnaby Street and saw it, and I was like, my little makeup loving heart like leaned to a little bit when I saw it. I was like, oh my word, a whole shop of Too Faced, because I love Too Faced. And I'll just show you the bag as well. So it came in such a delightful little bag. So I'm going to find somewhere in my beauty room to put that, because pink is my aesthetic and I definitely want to display that somewhere. But what I was really excited for is that I could get a hold of this. So it's the Tutti Frutti eyeshadow palette. I love a pink and purple eyeshadow, so really wanted to get this. I'd already got this one, which I picked up when I was on a cruise. I can't remember which destination, Italy somewhere. But I've already picked up this one, and this one is the Sparkling Pineapple, which is more of a neutral palette, but the packaging is just so sweet, I just had to have it. And then this one's Razzle Berry. So it's the Razzle Berry that I was really wanting and that I'm going to be playing with today. Then also I picked up the Fruit Cocktail blush. They've got so many of these blushes, I just couldn't decide. They all look lovely because they're, I'll show you in a minute, but they're like a dual pan, one side a bit more glowy than the other. So you can mix them together, or you've got two different shades. So super beautiful, so I'll be playing with that today. And then when I bought that, she said, oh, have you tried our new mascara? And I'm like, well, Better Than Sex is my mascara. I don't really want to change from that. I sometimes use the Benefit Bad Girl Bang, but Better Than Sex is my favourite. And she's like, if you like that, you'll like this one, which is the Damn Girl. She's only given me a little sample, but it's a reasonable sized sample. What have I got? 6 mils to try, so I think I'll be able to get a fair idea if I like it. And then she said, oh, I'll pop you a free makeup bag in as well. So, and that just says, damn girl, you're so Too Faced, which I absolutely love. So, always happy to have a new makeup bag. I think that'll be a good one for taking brushes away with me as well, because it's long enough for that. So they're all the new Too Faced things I got. And then I'd already got the Born This Way foundation. Don't wear it very much because the shade doesn't really match me. But I thought, keeping things Too Faced, I can make it work, I think, depending what I do with the powder and whatever. But this one's Snow, which was the lightest colour at the time, but it is quite yellow toned, and I'm more of a neutral or leaning towards a pinky tone. So I think Swan, which is the newer one, would have suited me better, but they didn't do that one when I bought it. Also got Snow in the multi-use sculpting concealer. So I do like this. If you look at it, actually, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but this is definitely lighter than that and works a lot better for me. I could almost use this as a foundation. You get so much product, 15 mils of product, when you only get like 30 mils quite often when you're buying a foundation. So you could probably just use that as foundation and it would be good coverage. I like the coverage of this because it's medium rather than a full coverage, but it is pretty good coverage, and on the dewier side of things, it's not too matte, which I don't enjoy a matte foundation. So that's mostly all the Too Faced that I've got. I do have that as well, which is a melted matte lipstick. I don't think it's really going to go with the eye look I'm going to do, but it's kind of neutral, so I'll probably wear it anyway, just for the sake of keeping everything pretty much same brand. But the melted matte formula is great. The melted latex is awful, but the melted matte is good. That's in the shade Sellout. As I say, I've had that one for quite some time. Do enjoy the formula. I've got 1 or 2 shades, but they're all in the brownish sort of realm. And then I thought I'm going to need a bronzer and whatever to finish my look. And I've not played with this, I don't think, on camera, but this is the Fenty one. So I've got the shade Shady Beers in that. So I'm going to be playing with that. and when I bought that I got given a sample size of the fly liner, which I've not used yet, so I'm using that on camera. And then everything else I'm going to be using is just my regular things that I use all the time. So got the Fenty Cosmetics Lab Contour Book 1, I've got my matte Painterly Paintpot, and the Kat Von D Super Browing Taupe. So they're all the things I'm going to be using on my face today, and as I say, it's just going to be a super chill, chatty get ready with me, applying these things to my face. So just going to scooch you in a bit so you can see a little bit more what I'm doing, and then I'll get started getting some base makeup on. Okay, I haven't used primer for the longest time, so not going to prime my face. I just don't really see any benefits from it really, so I'm just going to go straight in with the foundation, which as I say was the Born This Way. I always like to use a brush for my foundation, so just going to put a pump of that on the brush, and it looks super light when I'm first putting it on, but once I've got it blended out I think it will be fine. But as I say, it's got a bit of a yellow undertone to it that's kind of not my colour. I am literally the worst at shade matching myself, and I've gone to places to be shade matched and I still don't like the way that I'm matched when they do that. The only one that really suits me, and it pains me to say it, is the Armani Luminous Silk, which I've got in the shade 5 I think it is. And when she shade matched me for that, I was like, that's way too dark for me. But I don't know, it just melds in my skin so you can't even tell I'm wearing foundation. But what is it now, about £46 I think for a foundation, which is just too high a cost for me. So I keep it for special occasions only, and that's all I do. So this looks like proper scarily light, but once I've got some contour and bronzer on I won't look quite so much of a ghost. I kind of like a pale canvas anyway, like when I've got hairs coming off on my brush. When I'm tanned I don't know what to do with my makeup, it's just not the way that I'm used to seeing myself, so it just works better for me if I've got quite a pale canvas to start me off. So for foundation, I use the flat top Kabuki, the F80 quite often by Sigma. This one's the round one, the F82, just because I've already used the other one for a foundation yesterday and I didn't want to mix the two shades, but I do prefer the flat top one. I just think you can get a little bit more into like the under your eyes and things like that, so it's more sort of pointed on the edges of it. Right, so that's my base down. As I say, I'm looking really white, but I won't be when I've finished. So then I'm going in with the multi-use concealer. As I say, I've got the same shade. What I do like to do is build up a bit of concealer on my cheeks though, because those freckles are a pain at the moment. And I've just got my tapered precision tapered P86 brush by Sigma. I'm sounding like an advert for Sigma, and I promise, definitely not sponsored. I wish. I absolutely love Sigma brushes. I've had most of my Sigma brushes now for 3 years and they still wash up so beautifully and look brand new. A couple of them are stained quite badly, but I think that's just the nature of the beast because I wear so many pigmented, vegan friendly shadows, and greens and pinks just stain really bad. The finish of that foundation is lovely. It's like you don't feel like you're wearing anything too heavy, but it does cover pretty well. Right, so I'm going to go in with the translucent powder now and just set under my eyes. Don't really set my entire face because I will look about 105 if I do that. So so we're not doing that. Isn't the packaging adorable? I love it. So nice. And I love how everything kind of is themed the same. Just really lovely. That's one thing that Too Faced really gets right, I think, is their packaging. This is nice as well. So you've got a little sifter that actually will press right down, so you're not going to get loads of powder all in the lid when you're travelling or whatever, so that's good. Got a super large powder brush here. This is a Real Techniques one, and I picked up a whole set of these in Boots. Boots, if you're from the US, Boots is a department store, but it's a chemist, or that's how it started, and it's full of drugstore makeup, lots of other things as well. But they have at the back of the store like a bit of a casualty bay of stuff where the packaging is broken or whatever, and I really didn't care that the packaging was broken on brushes, so I took the whole set, and I think they're normally about £15 per brush, because these are meant to mimic like sort of real fur, but they are synthetic. They're just the softest brush, and I got them for £3 each, and they're so nice. Have you guys got any recommendations for brushes for me, by the way? Because brushes are literally life for me. I love my brushes, and I spend a lot of money on them, but I also don't mind getting bargains if I can find some good ones, and I wash them religiously, twice a week generally. I wash the entire lot of them. I don't like to use them more than once because the colours all transfer in my look. I know people use these Vera colour switch and things like that, but I just like to be sanitary and wash them. And because I keep my collection of shadows for so long, I don't want to be transferring bacteria from one to another, etc. So just really like to keep them clean, and so I need so many because I get through so many, and I probably more than anyone else use a ton of brushes. I mean, yesterday I did my first impressions of the Lethal Cosmetics shadows, you know, the one that you can make your own palette, and I think I used 10 brushes in that entire look, which is crazy really. You don't need to do that, it's just me. But going in now with the Lunatick Cosmetics Labs Contour book, which looks like this if you're not familiar. Love this. This is so good. The great thing about this as well is you can replace the shades, so they pop out, and you can see I've got quite a lot of shadow around that one. That one is my favourite because it's like a grey toned contour, and I tend to sort of dip the brush in that one, and that one if I'm going to do a contour, which I'm going to today because I'm looking super pale and I need to bring some definition into this face because I just look like a big potato at the moment. So when I do my contour, this is the brush that I use for that, the Extreme Structure Contour, which is the FO4 by Sigma again. I've got others that I use, but I'll go back to this one. If this one's clean, this is the one. And when I first got into doing contour, which I don't do every time I do my makeup incidentally, but when I first started watching YouTube, to put it that way, I never contoured, didn't know how to. And I used to see people doing it, and I tried to do it, and I bought the Eater brush by NARS. Does anyone remember that? And it came actually with my NARS Laguna bronzer, which awful decision for me to buy that. That's the darkest bronzer ever. But everyone was using it on YouTube, so I wanted it. So I bought that Eater brush, and I did like this big stripe, but I did it too low. I kind of did it right down here, and I came in too far. So I think if you want your contour to look nice, and I mean this doesn't look natural by any means, you know, you can tell I've got contour on as such, but if you don't want it to look crazy or to make your face kind of a strange shape, you need to stop, or I do, there at the latest. So I bring it in too far, it really just makes just an ugly shape really. I just think it makes my face look a bit masculine actually if I do that. So that's my contour done. We've already got a little bit of shape going on now. And sometimes I'll use the bronzer out of this one. That colour works really well for me as a bronzer with a light hand. I love these two as blush if I mix them together. never used that grey powder. I can't see a day when I'm going to use that as a contour unless I decide to do a Halloween look, which is probably unlikely. But I just love the quality of that, and the fact that you can replace the ones that you hit pan on, which I will eventually on that because I use it all the time. So then, because at the moment we have got quite a harsh line there, to kind of balance that out, I've got that Fenty bronzer in Shady Beers, which looks like it would be way too dark for me, but it isn't if I use a light hand with it. This Duo Fibre F50 is a good one for making things a bit sheerer than they perhaps would have been, and making this light enough for me to wear. And it's quite a nice shade. It's a big brush though, so you've got to be sort of careful what you put in it. But the other thing I like to do, because I've got quite jowly bits coming here, hate those, so just bronzing or contouring just there helps to minimise that as well. I used to wonder why I used to see people doing that, and now I know it's like where you're creating a shadow, you minimise the appearance of something, which is obvious really. But it wasn't obvious to me when I was new to makeup. Okay, I'm going to do blush in a moment. I feel a bit naked without my brows, so I'm going to do my brows next. So Super Brow is my one of choice for that. This is one of my favourite brow brushes. This is the Spectrum A14. This is turning into a brush video. Don't know if you guys even care about what brushes I'm using, but I just thought while I'm doing it, may as well tell you. So I like this one because it's a bit fatter. So to give you an example, I've got the Real Techniques one there, but the head of that brush is quite pudgy, not very precise, and a bit smaller. I can do it, but I prefer this one because this one does all the work for you. And I'm not an expert in brows by any means, but this is how I do it. So I draw a line underneath and then a line on the top. I'll let the brush do most of the work. And then when I've got less product on the brush, I just do little strokes upwards at the front of the brow. And that one's my bad brow. Brows are never the same. That one's got some curliness to it. It just never goes as well as this one. I've done the same thing on that one. Just basically letting the brush do the work. I like quite an arch in my brows. I see people with like these straight brows, they look gorgeous on other people, but I like quite an arch. I'm quite lucky, I think, that I've got a reasonably good shape naturally with my brows. I don't have to, or I never pluck them. I have them waxed probably once every 3 months maybe. Definitely when I'm going on a holiday, because I like to have them tinted because I don't wear much makeup when I'm away. But other than that, I leave them to just live their best life and do what they do. And they normally don't look too bad. I always find the worst thing with anything to do with eye makeup for me is getting it even. Like one of them is coming in further, I think, than the other one. But I look at people that have been doing makeup for years and their channels, and I still see that on other people, so I think it's not an easy thing to get right. Okay, so brows are on. So let's get playing with some of these new products because I'm excited. I've not even really opened my own. I've swatched them in store, but I haven't played with mine. So look at that for packaging. Oh, I'm such a packaging whore. I just love packaging. And it's got a little berry on the mirror inside, and I'll turn it that way so you can see the shades. Just really love a pink glowy blush at the moment. So, and it's kind of peachy one side and pink the other, but I'm going to go for the pinky side. And I've decided, as all of my brushes are staining my brushes, that these brushes are the ideal ones because these are naturally pink on the end, so you won't see it. Now whenever you're trying a new brush, you never know how pigmented it's going to be, so I'm going in super light-handed. It's one of those that's not too pigmented that it's gonna like go crazy too quickly, but pigmented enough that you can see it, so I'm pretty impressed with it actually. The other thing I want to pick up is that glowy bronzer that's got like the bird on the packaging. I don't know if you know which one I mean. I'll see if I can find a picture and put it up there because that looks stunning. I've seen Paulina Beauty playing with that the other day in a video and I was like, I need that now. Just for fun, I'm just going to try the more peachy side over the top. Yeah, they do meld together quite nicely. Yeah, I'm liking that. You can see me getting a lot of use out of that because it's small and compact to just grab for. Sometimes when I've got things in palettes of face things, I just don't reach for them, so I think I'll use that a lot. And then, like I say, we've got the Razzle Berry palette next. In their palettes, I don't know if you know, you always get a little guide as to what to do, which I'm probably going to totally ignore because I'm just going to do my own thing, but there's some eye looks inside, which it's always nice if you're a beginner. There's 3 of them, there's one on the back as well, so to give you an idea of what to do, but I'm just going to go in and just do it really. So if you're not familiar with this product, these are the shades inside. You've got the little berry and it's got a little bow on it, super cute, and then that's the shades. So, and I bought it for more that end of the palette. I've got quite a lot of these kind of shades already, but I love the look of this side. So we're going to be doing a very purpley, pinky kind of look today. Need to just prime my eyes, so I'm going to prime those with the Paintpot. As soon as I've done the priming stage, I always think I look better already because I've a lot of redness. I don't know if it's staining or probably is because I just wear so much makeup. So it was fabulous to go to London. Just chat to you a little bit about why I was there. I did share a couple of pictures on my Instagram stories while I was there, but I was working at the British Summertime Festival in Hyde Park for Friday, Saturday and Sunday. So do get some time to see the bands, which was cool. So saw a bit of Celine Dion's set on Friday, and then Stevie Wonder and Lionel Richie were on Saturday, and my favourite of the weekend was Barbara Streisand, who was just incredible. Like, I knew of her stuff because my mum would play it when I was a child, but like I was never really a fan. It wasn't my kind of music, and I was aware of her films. I mean, she's an absolute icon, but she's 77 years of age and she looks younger than I do. She probably had work done, I don't know, but she's got so much energy. She was like, she's funny, her voice, like, she was doing her sound check in the morning, she started singing, I just stopped. I was just like, oh my god, she's just incredible. Like, the tone of her voice, the power in her voice, I still can't stop thinking about it. It was just amazing. So I did that over the weekend, and then we get to stay the last night on Sunday in the hotel, so I always take the Monday off, and it's just a chance to go makeup shopping for me because I live in a small town called Rushden, so just outside of Northampton. If you're from anywhere in UK, you might know where that is in the Midlands. So we're kind of 50 miles between Northampton and, 50 miles between London and Birmingham. So if I want to go and get makeup, I've got to go on the train really. Both places are difficult for parking, well, definitely for me because I hate driving. So just get on with some shadow while I'm talking. So I'm just going in with that shade. So basically I use it as an excuse to go and get things that I couldn't get elsewhere, you know, that I can get maybe online, but this particular set I was so excited to get because it's not available online. It's a boutique kind of store, or I think Sephora have got them abroad, but we don't have Sephora in the UK. So, and we can't order from Sephora to the UK, I don't think. Well, we probably could, but we'd pay like mega taxes and whatever. So the chance to pick up things that I can't normally get. Whilst I was there as well, I went in Selfridges, which is one of my favourite things to do when I'm there, because they have a lot of the more luxury brands. Like they have Natasha Denona, which I can't see like real anywhere else in the UK, not that I'm aware of anyway. So close to buying the blush palette. There's 2 different colourways in that. One of them just really spoke to me. £76 though, so I put it back and had a think about it, and then I found this Too Faced stuff and I was like, oh no, I want that, because eyeshadow always wins for me. So, and the other thing I had a look at, and I've said in other videos I'm never going to buy this, and then I don't know so much now. So, and that's the Mothership palettes from Pat McGrath. The number 3 one, the cool toned one, that was the one that was calling my name, and the guy was such a good salesman because he was telling me how multi-use they were and the different finishes they got, and how you could get your brows done with the taupey coloured shadows, and you could do that with any shadow, but it was just sales patter really. But when he swatched out for me the like special finishes, I could see why everybody raves about it, and the packaging, because we all know I love a good packaging. It's just gorgeous. It's just the sort of thing that if you really wanted to treat yourself, you'd feel like you've got yourself something really special. So I might rein things back a bit in terms of hauls next month and get some of the things that are perhaps a bit more expensive, buy less but get the things that I've wanted to get for some time. Tell me guys, are you like that? Do you buy drugstore, or do you try and wait and get the things that you want? Or, you know, I feel like I buy more indie stuff, and that's not the cheapest. You're almost paying like high-end prices for some of that. And I tend to buy lots of things that I would say mid-range price. They're not like high-end luxury price. But I'm beginning to think I've got a lot of makeup now and I don't really need any more, so when I buy something it's either got to serve a purpose in my collection, like it's got to be something quite unique, or I've got to be getting it to treat myself really, you know, to make myself feel good. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do next month. I've already pretty much got my quota for this month. I think the trouble with doing YouTube as well is you feel kind of not the pressure, because nobody's pressurising me, but you feel that, you know, you might get more views if you do the palettes that have just come out. I want to show you guys new indie releases, and I do want to buy those. But also there's so many things in life I want to do as well. So, you know, I want to save for a holiday. I'd love to go to Japan, and I think I've got about a 2 or 3 year savings plan for that, because it's going to cost a lot of money to do it the way I want to do it. But with the makeup purchasing I'm doing currently, it's going to be even further away before I can go. So I'm going to start reining back the purchasing. And I've got, I think at last count, I've got to count them up, but last count was about 135 eyeshadow palettes. So I've got plenty of eyeshadow. So, and I haven't used hardly any of my palettes on camera. So really, in this video, I just want to test the water. How do you guys feel about seeing older palettes, 3 looks 1 palettes, palette bingos, throwback Thursdays, with all of the older palettes, and maybe for me to go on a bit more of a lower buy. That's the intention. I'm the worst though, because I do get tempted by new purchases, so I'm not going to make any of these rules and promises, but I definitely need to rein things back, buy less eyeshadow for sure. Not so much face products. Face products I think I probably do need a few more of to try, because I do stick to, I mean, powders I've got 4 I think, so you know, I don't buy much of those things. But I think for eyeshadow, unless it's something like multi-chromes I don't have many of, I'm interested to buy some of those. But you know, I'm thinking I've got lots and lots of different shades, and you guys have got them as well if you're into colourful makeup. And I know we've heard this message before, a lot of people have been on low buys, no buys, etc. But, you know, a yellow eyeshadow is a yellow eyeshadow. There might be different tones of it. A red one, it is a red one. You can darken it up with some darker colours or whatever and create your own shades. You can, you know, it's all about the looks. Have you seen these videos where somebody does high end on one side of their face and drugstore on the other, and it essentially turns out the same, and the shadows are different shadows? So it's not so much about the shadows. Why I buy them is because I'm a collector and I love the packaging and the whole concept, and I think makeup brands are so clever with that, and that's what sucks us in, and I'm the worst for that. But I want to do other things with my life, but I still want my channel to grow. I love, you know, interacting with you guys, and I get a bit of a buzz from doing it. I just enjoy the whole creative process. I'm so glad I started, but equally, you know, I don't want it to take over my budget and my life, because, you know, I'm buying all of this makeup. So that's what I'm intending to do. Probably till the end of the year, I'm gonna pretty much only buy 1 or 2 things a month. That's the intention. And I've got a big haul for July, so when I do my July haul at the end of the month, you'll see all the things I've bought, and that's what kind of put it into focus for me. And so I think for at least August, September and October anyway, I'm going to rein it right back. Probably buy a few things when it gets to Black Friday, because the deals are amazing, and I always get tempted then, and I don't want to miss out on such good deals. There's often multiple buys of products, and you get stuff like mascaras in multiple that, you know, I can save for the rest of the year, so it makes sense for me to buy then. But I think, you know, if I can do that for a few months and just focus on the makeup I have and doing fun looks and inspire you guys with the shades that I have. So that's been a long old rant, but I hope you understand where I'm coming from, and I hope that you're supportive of that. But let me know, because, you know, I want my channel to be something that you enjoy, but it's also got to work for me as well, obviously. So it's a hobby, I want to enjoy it. I don't want to feel bad, in inverted commas, about how much makeup I'm buying. So that's the plan. So what I'm using now is a flat definer brush here, and I'm going into that deeper berry shade there. That's a really nice shade, really unique shade actually. And the thing with Too Faced is that you never know what you're going to get, because they have great shadows and they have terrible shadows in my view. So, but these palettes are pretty good. I really enjoyed the sparkling pineapple one, although it's a neutral. I do wear neutrals in my everyday life quite often, should I say. And I like gold, so actually I'll show you it so that I'm not just describing it. I've got it sitting right here. So that's the colour story in that one. But there are some interesting shades, like those 2 shades are pretty nice. So It is quite basic, quite neutral, but the quality is there. It's really, really good formula. Right, so I've got that close to my lashes, just to give me some definition there. And I think I'm going to go in with a bit smaller of a fluffy brush, and I'm going to put some of that shade into my crease as well, just to give me a bit more definition in my crease. Which is the opposite way around to how I normally do it, because I normally go darkest to lightest, but quite liked this shade when I just did it on the lower lash line. I think I'll be able to connect it a bit more and give it a bit more shape. So often make it up as I go along, just try something and see if it works. I'm also going to darken that outer corner whilst I'm there. That's one good thing about these little palettes actually, they've got some dimension. You've got light to dark and you've got different finishes. And in the pineapple one, the gold is almost a pressed glitter. It's not too chunky, but it's more glittery than a normal shimmer, but it's a nice finish. There's nothing like that in this one. These are all just shimmers or mattes, but you know, you've got a light matte for the brow bone or to set. You've got some standard sort of transition shades, one matte, and then you've got a more satiny shade there, and you've got some shimmers. That one's a matte. So if you get a chance to pick this up and you like this sort of colour scheme, which I definitely do, I don't think you'd be disappointed in the quality. But I have, I think, another palette that has very similar shades to this, which is the, well, maybe not so plummy or blackcurranty as this, but can create a similar vibe, and that's the Troublemaker from Urban Decay. Which I'm eager to use that again, because I haven't used that for a long, long time. See, this is the thing, this is why I want to do that, because buying new all the time means I'm not using some of the things that I've got in my collection that I absolutely love. And maybe you guys have got those things as well and you've put them to one side and you're chasing all the new releases. So maybe we can do this together. We can buy a bit less and love the things that we've got a little bit more. Not forever, but just as a little bit of a, let's just rein it back, let's just, you know, see if we can do it kind of exercise. And it might just be me that wants to do this, but I'm really liking the tone of that shade, because I like a black eyeshadow, but this isn't black, it's like a blackberry shade, which is really, really pretty. I don't know if the shade names are on the back. Oh yeah, they're on the back. Bad to the berry. Just going in with that shade. So my battery died if I'm in a different position, or if the lighting seems a bit different. That's why. Hopefully it doesn't. But that's another thing that I need to do, is invest in some more quality equipment for my channel, which is another reason why I want to scale back the makeup purchases as well. So I'm using a microphone that I know there's interference in that, just a lavalier mic, and I want to get a Rode mic and more lighting for the background, change up the background. All of those things cost quite a bit of money, so I want to, as I say, for the next 3 months concentrate on other things other than buying makeup. So hope you understand that and that you're with me on this little journey and it's not going to make you all leave in droves. I hope not. But I just want to inspire you to play with the makeup that you've got. That's basically the message. So anyway, on with the eye look before my battery dies again, because I've only given it like a 10-minute charge. What I'm going to do is use that shade on my lids, because that just looks super pretty. Could have gone with the purple. Actually, do I go with the purple? I don't know. Actually, no, I might go with the purple. I might keep it dark and smoky. Yeah, I'm going to go with the purple. That doesn't seem to be... There's not a ton of pigment coming off of that. I'm going to go in with some glitter glue, which I normally do anyway. Just thought I'd try it without. Don't think we're going to get much pigmentation out of that without. There we go. If Nick's ever stopped making their glitter glue, don't know what I'd do. So it is amazing and it's cheap. I've actually got the Too Faced one. I could have used the Too Faced one. I've got their glitter glue, but I never reach for it. I think it's probably just as good, but Nick's one works, I just always reach for that. Having talked about my plans to do a bit less purchasing in the next 3 months or so, what I am going to do, rather than, I've got quite a lot of product reviews planned already for things I've already bought. I'm kind of quite behind actually. I've probably got about 4 palettes I've not shown you that I've bought that kind of turned up while I was away on my holidays in Greece, etc. So I've got quite a lot of reviews or kind of first impressions still to film, so you guys probably won't notice so much that I'm not doing the things that I normally do. But I also want to, for August, start doing a shop my stash kind of video, because I think I tend to use a lot of the same products all the time, just the things that are in my top drawer of my beauty drawers, rather than mixing things up a bit. So I want to kind of do myself a makeup basket of things I'm going to use for the month, and then be able to give you proper reviews. I see other channels that I follow do this and I find it really useful, so I just wanted to do that on a personal level so that I get more use out of my products, but also to be able to give you a proper review rather than just lots of first impressions. So I'm going to be doing that. I've got a couple of collabs that I'm thinking of, well, we are in the process of planning, so they should be super fun. If you have a channel and you've not collabed with me yet and you would be interested to do so, and you love colourful makeup for things like palette bingos and challenges and things, I'd love to do it. So let me know down in the comments if we've not collabed and you want to, or even if we've collabed before and you still want to, and I'd love to do that. Right, I'm liking how dark and smoky this is. Actually, I'm glad I went with the purple. So I'm going in with the Game of Thrones Dragon Smoke liner from Urban Decay, one of their 24/7 liners. Again, this is the thing, I've used this once in my first impressions of that collection and not used it, so this is what I mean. I tend to just stick to all the same products. If you're fairly new here, you might not even know what palettes I've got, but I have done a series of palette collection videos, 5 of them in fact, so if you are interested to see, then there is a playlist of those that you can binge watch. They are quite long videos, you might need a snack and a drink to get through them all, but if you love palettes as much as I do, I love watching those sort of videos, which is why I started my channel with those, so that will give you some inspiration. And I'd love to know, I've got an Instagram page, I'd love it if you DM me, let me know what you'd like to see me use. Obviously I've not got a community tab for you to tell me there, not yet anyway, you never know, one day. But I'd love to know what you guys want to see me do the 3 looks 1 palettes with, or the challenges with, or just what you want to see. Do you want to see tutorials for how to do various things? So just let me know, because I want to, as I say, do things that A, are going to get views, because it's a lot of work to put into YouTube if it doesn't, but also just because I want it to be useful for you, and to teach the skills that I've learned through YouTube to other people is such a buzz for me. So yeah, so that's what I'd like to do. So moving on to the mascara, quite excited for this. Look at that packaging, look at that. So that's called Damn Girl, I like that. I'm not sure I'm going to like the brush though. Oh my word, what a brush. That's a massive brush. It's one of those like waistline brushes that goes in and out, you know. But it's supposed to grip the lashes a bit more. It's just massive, it's bigger than my eye. making them quite big though. I never curl my lashes. I wish I could do it, but I see people doing that and I'm always worried I'm going to like get my eyelid into the contraption. Do you guys use those? What I do want to do as well is start trying to wear some lashes, because I love how they look on other people, but again I'm rubbish at applying them. This brush is a bit big for lower lashes, but turning it sort of on its tip like that is kind of working. Wow though, that is really quite good. I think it would be easier if it had a longer wand, and I think because it's a sample it's got a short wand to it, so I'm interested to play with that a bit more and see how I get on with that, so I'll keep you posted on that one. I'll probably use it in a few more videos. I feel like I need a bit of a inner corner highlight, so I'm going to go in with the one I was going to put on my lids as an inner corner. So to get that shade to work off camera, I've been messing about with it because I just couldn't get it to work. Its swatch is amazing, but the only way I could do it was with my fingers, and you can see it, but it's still not that impactful. So it's not the best inner corner highlight. I think on the lids it would look fine, but I'm expecting too much of it to really light up my inner corners. But it's totally different swatched out with the finger than it is on a brush. You just can't pick it up on a brush. So some shadows are just like that though. So that's pretty much the eye look completed. I've realised I don't have a highlight on, so I'm just going to grab for one of those. As I don't have a two-faced highlight, I'm going for the Ofra Pillow Talk, which, if you don't know what it looks like this, and it's a pink highlight lover's dream. It's absolutely beautiful. Oops. Ofra highlights are pretty intense. You can see how much glow that's adding. You can go in light-handed and kind of buff them out, and they're pretty expensive, but one of my favourite formulas ever. I've got glazed donut, but I prefer this one. I just think a pink highlight just looks so pretty. Even putting a bit of glow down my nose, don't do that very often. I like to be glowy. As you get older you want to be more glowy, I think. So from that really flat foundation to what I look like now, I think you can do a lot with contour and highlight to change your look up. So I'm going to use this lipstick, even though it doesn't really match the look perfectly, but I'm going to use it because it's Too Faced. So, and the melted matte ones are really good. I could do with more of these, because that is one thing. I don't have too many of these lipsticks. I mean, I've got a lot, but I don't have a problem with lipsticks like I do with eyeshadow. Actually not too bad an application for me. I normally do this off camera because I'm so bad at applying liquid lipstick that I keep touching it up one side then the other and ended up with it massively overlined. I think it's still not completely level. Yeah, it's not completely level, but it is not too bad, and it's not too overlined. So, when it is overlined, but it's not too much. So actually it doesn't look too bad with that eye look, I don't think. I wouldn't have chosen them together. But it's sort of giving me fall vibes, autumnal vibes. I've got kind of an orangey lip and purple eyes, but I love a good smoky eye and I haven't done one for so long, and I normally do them in black, so it's nice to do it in purple. So I feel like in retrospect today's video has been very rambly. I've kind of been all over the place with what I've talked about, but just to sum up, if you're still here, and if you are, I love you so much. but because this has been a long one. But just to sum up, I want to buy less products, I want to get more creative with the products that I've got. I'd love to collab with more of you if you've got channels, and let's have some fun with the makeup we do own and show everybody that we can make amazing looks with products that we have. We don't have to buy every new release that's out there, but if we are buying new things, let's buy them because they fill gaps in our collections of, you know, that we just don't have that product, or that product just excites us for some reason and we really need to have it. And maybe just take a step back and think, do we need it? Wait maybe a month, and if we still want it, then get it. That's kind of the vibe I'm going for. And as I say, I hope you'll be along for the ride too. So there'll be lots of new content, but some of the content that you've come to know and expect on my channel as well. So super excited for what's coming up. I'm aiming to ramp up my schedule to 5 times a week. I don't go on a schedule like I'm going to upload Monday, Wednesday, Friday, etc., because I think that's too much pressure when you're working full time. Some days I'm just tired and I don't want to do it, and other days I'm inspired and I can do 3 videos. So I'm trying to at least get an average of 4, but trying to push it to 5 if I can. So I always like channels that have got lots of frequent uploads, and I think in the beauty world things are moving so fast that it's nice to do that. So yeah, I might do a wish list video actually. I saw Kitty J Havoc's list video. She did that as a collab, and might make mine a wish list woes, all the things that I want but that I really shouldn't be buying and that I'm not going to buy but that I absolutely want to. So I might do that at some point if you guys would like to see that. But anyway, rambling at this point, but I hope you've got something out of the video, if not only just to see how to do a smoky eye in purple and to see some of the new Too Faced stuff that I've picked up, which isn't new to the market but new to me. But thanks for watching guys, hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, thumbs it down. I've got a thick skin, I don't mind. And if you did enjoy it and you're not subscribed and you want to be, I'd love to have you. But other than that, have a fabulous day. Catch you in the next one. Bye.